I've heard that you were a pretty big wrestling fan. So who are some of your favourites growing up?
Um, I've watched the WWE from around the mid-80s when Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and all them were on it, and Ted DiBiase and Vernon, and all the proper stuff. But I watched the proper stuff, the Attitude Era.
I mean it's in nicest way possible. What do you mean, like the proper stuff? Like, do you like the storyline better in the Attitude Era, or was it the character that you like more? Like, I'm genuinely curious.
I'll be honest with you, mate. Stone Cold Steve Austin was just superb. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin's character was like an everyday man at work who hated his boss, and the battles he had with Vince McMahon was superb. The Stone Cold was just like a working man. He was that kind of the bloke going to work, fed up. Stone Cold would come out, drink beer, kick some ass, and leave. And that's how most, I would have thought in the day, most men felt. I just want to go to work, kick the fucking boss's arse, go home and have a beer. And that. But I love The Rock. The Rock had the crowd. The Rock could hold the crowd in his hand with his talk. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, they were superb in the day. And then when like WCW started to come in and like create problems, and it actually woke the WWE up, because the WWE was just taking everything, right, we're going to be number one, we're going to be number one. But the WCW came in and started taking their wrestlers. It was brilliant to see. It was great. So
yeah, to be honest, mate, even though I'm still a fan today, yeah. I mainly watch in ring stuff because the characters. They don't have any create freedom nowadays. Like back in the day, Stone Cold has a bit more creative control over his character.
yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
I don't know how about how much you're including how it works. Like, obviously, when they're doing a promo, when they're doing it in the interview nowadays, they are told exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to say it.
Yeah.
And back in the day, if that a bit more ad-libbed, didn't it? If you know what I mean.
I do. I mean, there was a big interview with Dean Ambrose, weren't there? You know when Roman Reigns had leukemia again and he turned on Seth?
Yeah,
there was a big interview, weren't there, with Dean Ambrose, and he was saying that Vince McMahon wanted him to do this and that and like Dean Ambrose was saying, I don't do that. That's not my character. I don't do that shit. And that apparently that was the reason he decided to leave WWE, because he had no control over his character.
Have you ever seen that episode of AEW or not really?
I've watched a little bit. Do you know what, mate? My life is that busy at the moment. I haven't got time to wipe my own arse. But I have seen some of the WWE, AEW. I love it with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is a second to none wrestler. His mic work is absolutely brilliant, and he's always reinventing himself. He's always thinking that when he used to have the list, you've just made the list. I thought that was such a clever but simple piece of character play.
the person that came up with that was actually somebody called Jimmy Jacobs.
Was it?
I don't because I watch every single wrestling promotion out there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool. I've watched a fair few of them. I used to watch Ring of Honor and all that kind of stuff, but like I said, I just run out of time.
Like, remember back in the day, there used to be a wrestling channel on Sky, or was it on cable?
I watched. I don't know.
Because back in 2002, there used to be a dedicated channel to
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yes, I know what you mean now. Yeah. I thought you said, did I watch it on normal telly or cable? Yeah. What was it called?
I can't remember. I think it's really gonna piss me off. But I can't remember exactly what it was called. But they used to have everything on there. They used to have some New Japan and TNA and Ring of Honor and CCW.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember what it were, mate. I can remember the channel now, but I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, they were, weren't they? And it was just pure, like, young, well, start-off wrestlers and stuff. They used to show people who they thought would be up and coming, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a really big wrestling nerd.
I've lost interest in it in a bit. I mean, did you see the thing where Seth Rollins pulled out Rey Mysterio's eye?
Yeah, that was stupid. That was so stupid. I actually made a video on that. Why not? My review of Extreme Rules, I basically forgot to mention it because it was so stupid that I forgot that.
Oh, there's no need for that. There is no need to pull people. You know, I find that quite insulting because people like Unky Steve and Auntie Sue, why would you want to pull somebody's eye out? I can't work it out.
I know exactly what you mean. Another thing I'm not really enjoying at the moment, you probably heard about it, even if you haven't seen it. Oh, Jeff Hardy storyline. I've been alcoholism. I really don't like things like that. Because obviously people are genuinely dealing with people with alcoholism and other substance abuse problems.
Yeah, it's a bit like Scott Hall, weren't it? Because they used his alcoholism in the WCW, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they tried to get round it by him getting drunk and stuff, and they were just using and abusing him. And these companies have got to really take a look at themselves when there's people with drug problems and alcohol problems. And I take it you saw the fight with Hardy and not Sting, weren't it, in TNA?
Yeah.
When he rolled him up, didn't he, within like a couple of seconds because Hardy was out of it, weren't they? You know, you shouldn't be taking the piss out of things like that.
Like, I know what you're talking about, but apparently he was genuinely under the influence. I don't know how they let him go out there under the influence.
No, I don't. Surely you've got a care or a responsibility for your staff. I mean, where I work, we wouldn't let somebody go and drive a forklift if they'd just down half a bottle of vodka, and you know what I mean.
The whole wrestling industry is really scummy at times.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
As long as we can make money out of here, I don't care. But the one thing I would say, at least in WWE, it's become a lot more professional for the most part. Like
Yeah.
half of the roster are just normal guys. Like they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do anything like that. They just love wrestling,
Yeah, you're right, mate.
and a lot of people find that a bit boring. But I would rather people do that than dying at the age of 30.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. It's to be a wrestler and a sports person nowadays takes a lot of dedication. And you know, back in the day, let's face it, you've only got to look at Lex Luger, and he must have been pumped up so much steroids. And Scott, the brothers, big Popper Pump. Oh, ridiculous.
Steiner. Yeah, like he's going. Sorry, I was a bit waylaid there. Sorry. You know, Lex Luger. You know, nowadays he's confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah, I know. So sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Like that. That's what happened. Then you destroy your body over like 20 years or so. Which
yeah. But I wonder how much of that was put down to the promoters saying, right, take the steroids, get yourself worked up, get yourself pumped up. You know, I mean, I wonder how much of that was down to their bosses saying, "Oh, take this, it'll be all right."
Yeah, I don't know what.
You don't want to call.
Yeah, look.
So we'll just put allegedly.
This is all. Well, this is all on it. But the have to say allegedly if he went to court for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll come and defend you, mate. We were just having a chat. You just accidentally pressed the record button.
Seriously, I think I'm gonna remove that be of the interview. Because otherwise, I'm never gonna get the opportunity to get
Never get the opportunity to interview
Speaking of wrestlers, yeah, I actually contacted one yesterday, and you know, a bit later on today, I'm gonna be DMing them, so maybe you'll be seeing a wrestler interview on the channel very soon.
Oh, good stuff, great stuff. Hey, can I ask you a question?
You know, I'm happy to answer anything that you want to ask me, mate.
What do you think of Goldberg keep making comebacks? A bloke who's my age, who's pretty much knackered now, they keep dragging him out, they keep wheeling him out. But what do you think to that?
I personally, I've never rated Goldberg anyway, even in his prime. Obviously, I wasn't really of the age to watch him live, but I've gone back and watched some of his stuff in WCW, and I didn't really like him then when he was in his prime. So nowadays, I really don't like him.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. It was like I'll say a one-trick pony. It was wrestling, kick the door down, come through some fireworks, come in, spear somebody, give them the old lift them up, and slam them, and that was it. And it was like, yeah, he didn't really have much mic work. He couldn't build a story. So I totally agree with you, to be fair, dude. It was explosive, but that was about it.
Like, do you know when WWE went to Saudi Arabia last year? Yeah. Because you know they got to deal with them over there. They had Goldberg versus The Undertaker. And basically, it was really sad because The Undertaker nearly died. Because when Goldberg went up to do the jackhammer, he dropped The Undertaker straight onto it. You know what I'm going to say? Literally, The Undertaker could have died if he was.
Yeah. Totally, yeah, I've seen it, mate. I've seen it on YouTube. And you do actually have to think, what the fuck is going on? Because and that's one of the reasons why I've actually fell out of love with wrestling, because they just keep bringing back old. I mean, they brought Edge back, and I love Edge, absolutely love him. He was a real good wrestler, but really, you know, you can't tell me there's not younger lads and girls out there who could do the same job given the chance. You know, I don't want to see Edge come back. I want to remember Edge back in his prime.
There is, but they don't like to build them up for some reason, because they don't like to do the hard work anymore. They want instantly success. Like back in the day, they used to give people like Austin time to really build himself up as a character. But nowadays, they just don't give people the opportunity to really build a character.
Yeah, you're dead right, mate. Just let somebody come with you with the ideas and let them build a character. Let them build a new Stone Cold. Let them build the new Rock. You're dead right, mate. Totally agree with you.
That's why I just want you to support the guys and girls in the ring. To be honest, like, I don't support WWE anymore. I support the guys and the girls in the ring. Because in the ring, they're really talented when they're given the opportunity to show that.
Yeah, you're dead right, mate. The trouble is with Vince, he's getting old and he should retire. And he seems to think by bringing Goldberg back or bringing whoever back, he's getting his youth back. But he's not. Vince, just sod off now and let Triple H run it with Stephanie, and let's see how we go.
Like, you know, we were talking like earlier. There's nothing wrong with telling people that something crap, as long as you're constructive with it. Like, if somebody went up to Vince and said, Vince, this isn't good, and actually gave him proper reasons why it wasn't good, I just think that's what I'm trying to say is they need to get somebody in there like young to really freshen up the company, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the AEW turning up and doing such a good job as well, I think that's the WWF, the bloody pandas and elephants. The WWE have got to. You're laughing at me.
Yeah,
I'm 51, you know.
Yeah, I always find it funny when people have to correct themselves. I know exactly what they mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm always correcting myself in it, but I'm not. June's doing it for me. But you know, they're doing it. Hopefully, the AEW will give competition to the WWE and start kicking their asses. And let's have a Monday Night Wars again, like we did with WCW.
I know you said you haven't watched much AEW, but have you seen a person called Nyla Rose? She's quite a big woman.
No, I've not seen her, mate. I won't. No, I've not seen her.
But basically, she's the first transgender wrestler.
Really?
Yeah.
So who does she fight? Does she fight men or does she fight women?
She's a part of the women's division.
All right.
Like, I can't imagine WWE doing something like that. Can you?
No, I don't know what the. You know what, right? You'd say to me, I can't imagine the WWE pulling somebody's eye out, but they've done it. Nothing shocks me nowadays.
And if they did do it, they would probably try and milk it for all the money that they could.
Oh yeah, yeah. Vince likes his money. When's enough? When is it too much money? When have you got enough? Because Vince is just greedy.
Like, he tried to bring back football league. Like, if you want to have a football team, an American football team, why didn't he just buy an NFL team?
That's a good point. That'd be a good question to ask him if you ever get him.
I don't think he would answer it truthfully though.
He'd be right. Well, I didn't want to buy him. Black Hole team. I wanted my own league. Wouldn't it be something like that?
I would love to get the Undertaker on.
Oh, now that would make you world famous. You could interview the Undertaker. Fucking hell.
Basically, I think that would be a 5-hour interview. Cause
Yeah.
I would have so many questions.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, mate, that'd get you on at least Channel 4.
I'm only joking. I love you, really. Anyway, what do you think about people like John Cena? Because when I was growing up, John Cena was my hero.
Do you know what? I'd love to have seen John Cena turn heel.
And I would. About 2012, it would have been lovely.
Yeah. It'd have been just good to see him. Just change his character. Just, I don't know, just beat Rey Mysterio up or something like that. I think that's why people used to turn on John Cena so much, because he was just a good, pretty boy, you know, and it was like the Hulk Hogan of the day, weren't it? But when Hulk Hogan turned heel, look how massive that were. And I reckon if John Cena had turned heel for 6 months, that'd have been bigger than Hulk Hogan.
I don't know whether you remember, but when he faced CM Punk on the 1000th episode of Raw, and he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, I think if he would have came down after that and said, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank, and he would have turned heel, I think it would have made the company so much money.
Yeah, it were. You're right, but I think Vince was just playing it safe, because I don't know how much merchandise Cena sold with his T-shirts, his sweatbands, his bloody headbands and everything. They must have made a fortune. They must have sat down and thought, it ain't worth changing him. But I personally think John Cena to turn heel, I would have bought a John Cena shirt if he'd have turned heel. They could have, because he always used to have the bright colours on. But if he'd have turned like a dark red, John Cena's a bastard T-shirt, it'd have been brilliant.
Another time he could have turned heel. It when he faced The Rock at WrestleMania 28.
Yeah, he could have done. There were so many times they could have done it, but there you go.
I like him nowadays, but I like him as a human being nowadays.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with him as a. I don't know what he's doing with his fucking hair though.
I actually quite like it, to be honest.
I think he looks like a right prick. Oh, good stuff.
I wouldn't wear it. But
No.
I think it suits him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He just looks a bit. I think it's because we've seen him for so long with no hair, and then he's like just got this big mop on his head now, isn't it?
He probably did that just for Hollywood. I guarantee if he was still full-time for WWE, he would not have done that.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So, good stuff. So.
Have you ever seen any of his movies, like, properly, or not really? Or
No. To be honest, I'm not into films and stuff just lately. I've got fed up with them. I only really watch a lot of YouTube. I can't honestly remember. I've just not watched any TV. I've got fed up with it. And I think with the COVID thing as well, there's nothing new coming through really, is there? So
yeah. So I assume I assume you don't like Dwayne Johnson stuff. Then you've probably seen a couple of his.
You know, I have got nothing against Dwayne Johnson. Perhaps I should watch his stuff. I'm just not into films at the moment. I don't know. There's other stuff going on in my life where I haven't really got time to sit down and watch a movie or a film, because it's a film. We live in England. We don't live in America. It's a film, not a movie.
To be honest, I would not have pulled you up on that, because I call it a movie all the time. Because I told you, I learn a lot of my language from watching, obviously, WWE and American movies. So sometimes I find myself saying American words, and people look at me like, "Why are you saying that for? We are in England."
Yeah, Ginge comes out with a load of American stuff. She'll say, "We're putting the garbage out," and I'll say, "Since when have we lived in Los Angeles? We live in Loughborough. Pack it
in." I just think you can speak however you want, as long as you know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's it. Good stuff.
So I personally, because I've seen a lot of Dwayne Johnson's movies. I think over the years he got worse and worse and worse as an actor. To be honest, I love him. I like him, and I love him as a person. But as an actor, I really don't like him nowadays. Maybe it's because his movies get too much build up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm surprised with that. I mean, like I say, I've not seen anything he's made, but I suppose it's like Jason Statham, isn't it? I mean, every time Jason Statham turns around, he's made a film. So I suppose there's too much of. Is there too much of Dwayne Johnson, or is that what it is?
I think that might be the problem, because he's everywhere, isn't he? And it gets a bit
like dog shit. He's like dog shit everywhere.
Yeah, as I say, I love him. I love him as a human being. I think he comes across as a really nice guy, and I know some people like to say he's just putting on an act, but I genuinely do think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I do. I think he's a nice guy. He comes across well as well, don't he? You never know if he's contracted to make so many films, do you?
Like, I don't think I would ever get an interview with him now. With him now, but I would love to sit down and basically say to him, "Do you think you're too overhyped? Well, not overhyped. I need to try and word that better, but you know what I mean."
I know what you mean. I think if I ever got to interview The Rock, I would say, "What were you fucking cooking, mate?" Because we never knew. We just always didn't smell what The Rock's cooking. But what was you cooking?
If I had to ask you one wrestling question, yeah, I would say, why didn't you wrestle somebody like Randy Orton or somebody like that? Because that was back in the day, it was a dream like your mind. Because they're both third generation superstars, aren't they? Like, obviously, Randy Orton's got his dad and his grandfather, and obviously the Rock has got his family heritage. So I would love to see a Randy Orton Rock program.
Yeah, that's a fucking good shout, mate. I used to have Randy Orton's entrance music as a ringtone. I hear voices in my head. That was my ringtone.
I'm not a big fan of that one. I prefer the one that he had before. You probably don't remember. I think it was called Lights.
I can't remember that one, mate. I think it's just I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. I love that. So
I liked it when it first came out, but I think he's had it for so long that I'm getting a bit bored of it now. Same thing with John Cena's theme. It worked when he was doing like the It worked when he was doing the rapping stuff. But
Yeah.
as soon as he stopped doing the rapping, I think he should have got a new theme. But then again, the whole point of his theme is that people remember it, don't they?
Yeah,
So
what was he? Thugonometry.
I don't even remember the label. I'm on my time.
Yeah, that right, something like that, weren't it? Yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
You know, back in the day, did you use like the entrance themes? Well, not really, or was it that bothered by?
I like the entrance things. It was good. It's like, you know, when something was kicking off in the ring and like somebody were getting a kicking by about 5 blokes,
Yeah.
and then like you'd hear the shattered glass, and like Stone Cold would come in and do all that. I loved it. I loved an entrance theme music. It was brilliant.
I love Stone Cold. But do you know when he joined Vince back in 2001? Yeah, I think it killed Stone Cold for me as a character.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's just something about Stone Cold where I just love him. Fucking love him. So he could do no wrong in my eyes, to be fair.